come out, but
I will say that Adroit banned out a lot of heroes who are good at getting out of arena between the Riki, the Morphling, and the AM. And so they're like, you probably want to pick Mars again, so let's just get a preemptive lifestealer.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they could have banned it, but instead they found more value in banning out the Beastmaster.
yeah, they protected this lifesteal with the Beast and Slaughter bans.
Yeah, that's
pretty
also
well.
true.
So something, yeah, clearly somewhat premeditated that they were going to pick this lifestealer, I would say.
Okay. Terrorblade is an option for them if they wanted to go for it still. It's like an answer or any of those other. Like,
Yeah, I don't think you want to. You want to pick the TB probably 4th if you're. That's what you want to go, so you can ban out the mid laners you're worried about. They get Bloodseeker.
picking this into Lifestealer. I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't, because like,
It's one of the only heroes that can deal with it.
exactly, like you infest and you're like, alright, cool. I'm not really worried about Rupture anymore.
Well, and like the Bloodright spam in the early stages too. That's the other part that to me that always feels like it's why you pick the Bloodseeker. I guess. Oh my God, they're gonna Walrus kick it. Let's go. Let's go.
Ooh, Leshrac. I'm liking this hero. I caught a bit of the America's action and heard BSJ talking about Leshrac, how it's kind of underrated, and he thinks it's a really good hero right now. I think it was one of the NA teams who was running quite a lot of Lesh.
I do think he's one of the most consistent pushing mid laners.
Yeah.
I think Pugna and DP have kind of been outclassed ever since Edict first became the rise to prominence, and there's the TB.
It does feel like it also fits that mold I'm talking about of like you just stay alive and you'll deal all the damage out.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
And it's, you know, hey, Lifesteal's going to do physical, let's get a magic damage core, because they might pick something like a TB or some hero that...
Which I am curious why they pick TB into a Leshrac. Leshrac is usually the counter, or Zeus, to a Terrorblade.
Dude, Adroit don't care about counters. They just
clearly not.
Yeah, the Lesh is definitely going to be, I feel like, work really well this game. Can also be that flex hero that goes off lane or mid, so it has that kind of added value in many ways.
Against TB, I want to give it the highest farm priority possible, though.
Yeah. They have a ton of magic damage. How do you deal with this? Just get like some type of big fighting thing and just catch them all. It's like Enigma or something. I guess that you need probably a mid laner, don't you?
On the Adroit side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most likely. Wondering what they can get here.
Invoker's banned out by them. Doom would have been good.
Feels like they kind of lack any ways to actually kind of catch and pick off heroes. Like until they get the Snapfire Ags. Like,
Yeah.
I would almost like I want to see them get that kind of
Initiation.
pickup. Yeah, like that Ember type hero or Void Spirit's ban. So
They have last pick at least, so they can come up with something. Like an Ember or a Puck or something for a Droid sound kind of good.
The Puck could be nice because then you've got the Ags coil against the Lifestealer later on. That sounds
with
pretty
the
nice.
kick. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're all about this kick.
Let's get some
Dude, I'm telling you.
Walrus kick action.
Want to see it.
I don't even think you worry too much. I mean, like, the mid lane matchup, you know it's going to be Leshrac, but I still think you prioritize being able to get some sort of pick off for initiation, like you said, Gods.
I don't think they know it's going to be mid, though. It could be off lane. And I think off lane would be pretty good against the Terrorblade,
I mean, they did ban out Zeus, which kind of implies that, like, I don't know where this Lesh is going to go. What the hell?
Mid
Snapfire?
That kind of makes sense. They get well here. They fill the gap of needing that initiated playmaker with the clockwork.
And Snapfire gets Nags quicker, so even more initiation.
Yeah, this makes sense to me.
Does she do good against Leshrac? I have no idea. I've never seen that matchup before.
I think Snapfire mid is one of those heroes that people start saying mid because you don't really have that many bad matchups. With, like the double nuke, you just you can clear waves, you can secure range creeps. I don't know. I've seen Snapfire mid just do fine in almost any matchup.
Very weird. Very weird draft.
I do like the clock pick, though. It also is a good laner against Lifestealer.
Yeah, they just need a way to find that Oracle and jump on him.
And it's not terrible against Lifesteal. I feel like the clock players who are really good at just can do the hook shot into the cogs pushback, set up the follow-up stun.
Yeah. The good clocks I consider almost a counter to Lifestealer a lot of times.
Yeah, I think, you know, historically people are like, oh yeah, you know, you get caught in a cogs battery assault, you just rage and fight the clock. But no, good clocks, they can mess around the Lifestealer.
And a last pick, Underlord, so another source of magic damage against this TB. Gentlemen, which way are we leaning based off these 10 heroes? Motivate.Trust or Team Adroit Gods? How about you?
I'm going with Motivate.Trust. I don't believe this is a great TB game. It's not a terrible one, but TB's the way they win this game, and I think TB's going to have a rough time.
Lyrical?
I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know.
You believed in your boy Mac last game.
I don't know. That's my prediction. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's okay. Two people may know. It'll be johnxfire and MLP whenever we return from a quick break.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for game number 2 between Motivate.Trust and, of course, the side of Adroit. It's MLP, Dota, and johnxfire. John, the panel seemed a bit confused about which draft they preferred, and they did ask what we would think about this. Who do you think has the better draft, John?
I'd say MG.Trust. You've got Boombell, you've got Bombion as a really nice Oracle. You know, we know he delivers Boombell. Adroit, they went Terrorblade into the Lesh. There's a lot of control here. There's a lot of magic damage coming through. It's not going to be an easy game for MCY to get a good start.
Top lane, CML, he's been fortunate to end up with a toss back from Q, the Split Earth out as well. And First Blood is out. Masaros will take it on the Lesh rack. Nice little setup there from Q with the toss back. And, well, I was about to agree with you. I do believe that Motivate.Trust does also have the better draft in this matchup. I think Gods was also saying that it's not a great TB game, especially up against the Leshrac and the Underlord. In fact, even the Tiny can make it pretty rough for the TB. I think we're both on the same page here in terms of draft, that Motivate might just be ahead.
Yeah, they've got a lot of options in hitting their timings. They've got faster heroes here for Jackie, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be active. But he has the option to join these fights faster, and it's Boombell Oracle. I think that for me sells a lot of this. They get that comfort pick first, and we're seeing what they love to do here in MG.Trust. Try lane top, try to snipe a first blood.
Well, that level 1 Fortune's End is just so powerful. Such a long duration route. But as soon as he gets it off Q, he's going to go for a nice little toss back, and Adroit, they are quite aware that this Oracle is missing, and they probably know exactly where he's gone to. For now, Boombell, he's been very patient, not TPing back down to the bot lane yet, where Jackie is farming on his own. But then again, that is a life stealer. He can sustain himself quite nicely, so Boombell is literally going to sit here. And all props to Boombell. MCY is getting 0 farm right now. In fact, a nice toss back anyway onto CML, but they have missed the Split Earth. And that'll mean CML does get out scot-free. MCY, he's going to pop the Metamorphosis to try and catch up with this wave. Still a great start here for this Radiant side, as we probably should look to the other lanes now as well, John. You do see Jackie down at the bot lane. He is just there farming very nicely on the Lifestealer. Boombell going to be there to help him. And the mid lane now, the one we're looking at, Fearless and Mac up against each other on the Underlord and the Snapfire, which does feel quite Underlord favored, especially once you get a couple more levels up and you do have level 2 a trophy aura. It can get a bit rough for the Snapfire.
Yeah, it's not a very easy time for Mac. I mean, he's still got great damage with Scatter Blast and some control with Fire Snap Cookie, but for the most part, an Underlord's not going to care. Fearless is not going to look for trading hits. He just wants farm, and he's finding that farm in a big way. 14 to 3, although.
MCY, big trouble. Avalanche Toss is there, and MCY is going to die. Masros and Q just diving him, and now CML, he's being blocked by the creep wave. He can't even run out of there. He has to run the opposite way. A great split earth there from Masros to set up. He has no more vision, but he'll find a courier on his way in. CML will be able to walk away with his life, but they do at least get the courier of CML. And, well, they got MCY, which is the main target they wanted anyway. And this kind of goes back to why it's not the greatest Terrorblade game, John. The high armor value of this TB just doesn't really seem to matter when you've got so much Magic Burst on Motivate.Trust.
Yeah, it's really just not doing much. There's not much presence here from MCY early on. You're already struggling here with CML and kind of clearing out that wave. He's immediately hero trying to run against a Lesh. That's never fun as well. And
Fearless. He's playing on the edge there with Mac. They do both get away, but Fearless does have the bottle up. Mac will bring one out on the courier now, and looks like those formative power runes are going to be quite important this matchup as well, as they both kind of need a full bottle right now.
Yeah, it's going to be important for the supports to get out. We'll see if they can. You've got Boomy, of course, in the pause 4 Tusk, and he's just trying to apply harassment here.
Yeah, false promise. Excuse me, not false promise, but rather Fortune's End is going to be there from Boombell. And Boomy's just going to keep chasing him. And that's it. He's just dedicated now. He's just not going to let him go. It's another swing in, but you're definitely not getting a kill here. Boomy is trying to just push him away from those 4-minute power runes. Just spawning up now. Q already set up for one up at the top rune spot. It's all about luck, as the bottom rune is going to be where it's at. Boomy does spot up the DD rune and does take it back onto Boombell. He'll try to chase the Oracle down, already activating the tag team, but he can't reach. He does finally get one hit in, but Fearless now is going to rotate to make sure Boombell does not die. In fact, Fortune's End is going to fly out onto Boomy. Does lose that DD. Well, Q even going to rotate in now the Tiny. Just everyone here in the mid lane having a bit of a party. Boomy is just going to be able to walk away, I believe. I don't think they can catch him out.
Yeah, it's not going to be a kill opportunity. The ridiculous part about that movement, Mike, you look at Jackie's lane. He's been solo pretty much the entire laning phase, and he's just taking over his lane. 27 to 13. Nico on the Bloodseeker can't really contest. And you compare that to the progress from MCY. After losing that first wave, after getting that first death out, MCY is just kind of forced to play in the jungle, and it's not getting any smoother here for the Terrorblade. It's just so hard, and even CML, he can't contest.
No, he cannot. It's a very rough time for him, CML. It's not a very easy clockwork game either, right? You haven't really got the best targets to hookshot onto, apart from maybe the Oracle, which is why you'd argue they chose the clockwork in the first place. But literally every other target is basically suicide for him. So it's not going to be a very fun time for CML, and he basically is just going to have the job of finding this Oracle every single team fight and making sure he can't just false promise whoever he wants.
Yeah, that's really it here for CML. Nothing else you can expect out of though.
Mid lane, Q, trapped by the shards. Mortimer's Kiss is committed. They do get a nice pick off. Sent up there by the shards of Boomy, and it's a nice little kind of cute combination they do have there. So you can just kind of shard into the Mortimer's Kisses, and there's not really much you can do to run away in those instances.
Yeah, and that's one way that Adroit can start finding these kills. So a heads-up rotation from Boomy and getting that done. Fearless is probably not going to mind too much. On the bright side, he does get a bottle refill from Q's TP from base. So he's going to be topped back to full, and he's still finding farm. The Snapfire can also clear out these camps and waves, but it's not as quick as an Underlord, and that's really where MG.Trust is shining. They may not have kills, but they are clearing out camps and waves a lot faster.
Yeah, you just look at that Avalanche toss damage out. from this Tiny. I mean, level 2 Avalanche, level 1 task, but he can take out 3/4 of your HP as a task. Just a casual 600 damage. It's kind of a ridiculous hero right now, this Tiny. And he's actually going to chase down MCY, who's been left alone. Masaros has the Edict going right now with the Fortune's End out again, and the Split Earth from Masaros. Q will be the one to take the kill with the Avalanche. And that'll be the second time already that MCY has gone down. It goes back to that same point, John. MCY, he's going to need a very fast BKB this game, it seems.
Yeah, he definitely will. And, you know, we kind of saw Jackie kind of struggle with that TB as well in Game 1. Now the test for Adroit in this game is whether or not they can get enough space out for MCY. He needs to find the same farming pattern here. He needs to be allowed to build up. And MG.Trust should know how a Terrorblade wants to bounce back in. So it's also on their itinerary to kind of ensure MCY is kept in check. He's doing the right play, just playing in the jungle, no other lane, but this is going to sack his supports.
Yeah, it is. Boomy going to go down. Masaros, his second kill of the game. Fourth kill he's been involved in total. Very, very good start on the Leshrac, and with that almost max Diabolic Edict, he's going to be able to force in this tier 1 tower very nicely. They are even going to force a rotation in from Nico to be able to defend with that Blood Right. CML will go for a Cogs with the Mortimer's Kisses out, and they do finally get this Leshrac. Fearless is not going to be able to TP in time. Oh, you hear the sound that you've made it and you just don't get out. Q barely misses out on cancelling the TP of our Snapfire being played by Mac. And that's a great rotation out from Adroit, and one that was desperately needed.
Yeah, two cores go down there for the side of Adroit. They're going to be very happy with those pickups. They save their tier 1 as well, although it's down to about 300 HP. It's just going to take another movement out from MG.Trust to take it out. The key thing is, they may be finding these kills, but they are leaving Jackie alone. I think this is a very scary point when I look at the Lifestealer here, Mike. Level 8, he's been left down bot, way ahead of MCY now, and his armlet is not too far off. So this is really good farm from Jackie, and on this Lifestealer, he can be a bit more active.
Yeah, I mean, the armlet is just going to make it so he can do whatever he wants. We do see a lot of Lifestealers liking getting involved early as Masaros. Very sneaky play there in the tree line with the Diabolic Edict, taking out that tier 1 tower, and he goes straight into Nico now. Split Earth, however, will not connect, and Snowball will be back the way of the Tiny, but all that magic damage was just blocked off by the Fate's Edict. They'll turn back around now. Masaros, he's been ruptured. He cannot run, but Tiny, or rather Q can, and he will run away. Still Masaros going to be left behind and will die. And Boom Bell now a bit of a sitting duck as they all come in and surround the Oracle. And Adroit once again will be able to fight back. In fact, Q, he's stuck around throughout all this. He's trying to run now. In fact, he'll go back for an Avalanche toss onto Boomy. It does get a kill, and here come the TPs. Fearless. He's going to try and come in, but the Cogs pushback is going to be out from CML. They're going to still try onto the Snapfire. Mac get the cookie off and just try to run. Fearless, he is quite fast with those phase boots, and Q does have an Avalanche toss out. Mac still alive. The Blood Right going to buy more time into the cookie now as well. Mac, he's really playing around with his skills very nicely as the Mortimer's Kisses do come in. They'll also kill Fearless now, but Masaros is back into the team fight. He does get CML. They look for Boomy, but Boomy is just fine and out, or rather, not Boomy, but Mac is just fine and out of there. Well, Boomy was in the mid lane as the Tusk just running around, going for a haste rune, and he does manage to pick that up, but still a great team fight for Adroit.
Yeah, they're finding better exchanges here. MG.Trust is just kind of banging their heads against the wall, almost. Now, they are buying a supreme amount of space for Jackie. The armlet we talked about is up. He's 2 levels ahead of MCY. Despite the space being built for MCY, it's not progressing well. He's still at 4k gold, 1.8 behind our Lifestealer, and that's him kind of free farming. You have to watch yourself here if you're Adroit. They are making the right place. I don't think it's on the right hero. They are shutting down Fearless and Masaros, but they're doing their job. They're just buying space for Jackie, and that's a real target here. Adroit has to figure that out and start to make some plays in the Lifestealer and start to look for some objectives. Now, with that 1 tower up for MG.Trust, if you let them take another tower, specifically that mid-tier one, they'll just switch Jackie's farming jungle. He's just going to start playing top afterwards.
Hookshot is there by CMO with a nice cogs. Jackie doesn't really have a good infest target. He's just going to try and run away. And in all fairness, he is quite fast. He does get out of there, and Boombell is going to TP in with the false promise, but he was not required. He will die instead. Jackie will just get out himself with range creep. He'll run. He'll be fine.
I love it. Boombell is just trying to help. He dies and said he didn't need to die, but sacrifices must be made for Jackie. Still, he heads down mid. Oh.
Nico, he did drop low. He's going to be okay. Blood Right does heal him up, but mid lane, Jackie and Fearless bot lane is in trouble. He's trying to Dark Rift out, but he will not be able to make it in time. But with that time, Fearless was trying to Dark Rift. That mid-tier 1 tower did end up dropping. So you get the Unlord kill, which is really nice, but that mid-tier 1 tower going down, not going to feel very nice for Adroit.
No, it's not. And they still haven't found the bot tier 1 as well, so they're still not finding those favorable tower trades. Metamorphosis fades now from MCY, so his damage output's not as good. He even had enough time to drag Q down here. So he's just going to throw his body out once more to stall out this push, perhaps. Not really going to hold this tower for too long, though. But you're at the point where Jackie's just playing in top jungle, so it doesn't matter. The bot tier 1 does eventually fall, but Jackie's farming in a completely different part of the map. And he is still pulling ahead, 6.8k up. He is about to finish up his Sanj, and once he's got that, he's going to be a lot more durable, a lot harder to hold down. MCY does have his Yasha, more than likely going into his Manta, but we'll see how else it progresses. You are still only 1k ahead for MG.Trust, so all of those deaths have been detrimental to your progression, but Adroit are definitely not quite in the driver's seat. They've still got a little bit more work to do. I think we need to see more hooks coming out from CML and more kisses follow-ups from Mac in that combo.
I'd agree with you on that. CML, he's been hanging around, he's been scouting out what the side of Motivate are up to, but ultimately hasn't really found a position where he can hookshot in yet. Maybe now with Boomy around, they might feel confident, but no, they are going to back off. Well, they do group up with Mac in the Dire Triangle, but I mean, Mac's 200 gold away from the Aghanim Scepter. So if you're Mac, you're just telling your team to hold on for a second while you just finish this farm up. And once that's available, you can just go for a surprise gank with a smoke. And as I say that, Fearless has smoked up with a Pit of Malice out, Rod of Atos as well, but Mac is just way too far backwards. They are not going to be able to really keep going. However, CML just going to hookshot in now. Fate's Edict is out, and he goes for the Cogs pushback. Fearless is trying to Dark Rift everyone out of there. Masteros should be fine to get out, and he will. Meanwhile, bot lane, Q. Avalanche toss out onto Boomy. Not going to be enough to kill him off.
Yeah,
so nobody really dies across the map.
A lot of time by MG.Trust. Jackie just keeps to get farm up here. No one to contest him. You're still only maintaining 1k lead, but you're not seeing Adroit bounce back in a big way. That was their combination being blown. They are smoked up, though. They've gotten Metamorphosis up for about half its time, but doesn't look like they're going to be able to get some movement out. And there's a smoke out as well from MG.Trust.
Yeah, they ring up towards that top lane. Straight after that tier 2 tower, they want to try and force a team fight. They aren't going to find anyone. Nico, he's hanging around, but it's not going to matter his bot lane. They've also smoked up there. Gobble up is going to be way off the markers. They were looking for Q on the Tiny. He does show now in the mid lane, but while they're chasing him, that top tier 2 tower is still under siege. They need to try and defend this, and they are going to finally TP some heroes in. Onto Fearless, they do hook shot. Cookie, not really going to be on the mark there. And Fearless, he's been ruptured up. He's going to stand his ground. Boombell trying to help him out, but he's been silenced. He cannot false promise yet. He's trying to get it off in time, and he commits it on himself while Fearless does get healed up. They go after CML. Now onto Boomy. Everyone's just trapped on the high ground there. They can't get out.
Oh my god.
They can't get out of there.
Oh.
It's the old Warcraft 3 block, John.
That's super old school. And man, I don't know what to say, right? Like, Adroit had the right idea. They knew they had to kill Boombell. What the Adroit didn't do right was they sent 3 melee heroes into a choke point to take Boombell out. And he just lived through that silence. They could have killed him during the silence, but they were split up in focus. They will. Ooh, kisses are nice though.
Yeah, Boombell's gonna die, but they're gonna try and chase Mac down now. They know exactly where he is. Dark Rift out. Masaros, can he get the job done in time? The Avalanche and Toss. It's going to be enough, and see you later. They're out of there.
Oh!
Although, one of them was left. Nice hook shot out from CML onto Jackie. He's going to try and armlet toggle his way out, but he cannot. He will go down. A very messy engagement. Overall, I suppose killing Jackie like that is going to feel pretty good for Adroit. But Motivate.Trust probably not too upset either.
It's just... I'm wondering why Jackie went away, although... Ooh.
How cute. Nice avalanche toss. Killing off the poor Clockwork, and he just wants everyone to retreat again, CML.
Classic. That's just how he is.
Retreat.
Every single time. Every time something bad happens to him, he just spams that. Still, I'm still wondering what the heck Jackie was doing. They had a callback. They had the Dark Rift.
Burmy, avalanche toss out. Masaros, he's missing the split earths on this left track. They've been a bit mistimed this game. And Burmy, they still have vision. He probably will just die. Burmy does eventually burn out to the left track. Nothing else is going to happen. Everyone else on the map pretty safe.
Yeah, you're still at a good point here for MG.Trust. 12 to 11, but the 3K lead's on your side now. So it's really starting to build up. They are still going, though.
They are. They found Masaros. They commit the rupture. Masaros trying to fight back, but he can't. Q came in for an avalanche, but that may cost him his life. Still his team ready to back him up. Hookshot, though, is going to be nice from CML. Back onto Nico, who's just trapped up now. He'll go for a blood right, but he is still going to die. And meanwhile, Q finding another CML. The poor Clockwork. It is a very tough game for Clock this game. And, he's just copping it.
Yep, and it's... I mean, you find the Lush, that's a bit bigger there for Adroit. You're still slightly happy, but you don't like dropping your Bloodseeker. You are seeing just how menacing Q is with that blink, and he's just getting the burst damage off. And with those deaths, MG.Trust straight into the Rosh. It's not the fastest Rosh, mind you. This lineup doesn't melt it particularly fast, and they are scanned out. But Adroit will have to kind of choose their initiation well. They've got Hookshot in about 10. They are just a bit too far out to make it timely, but it looks like they have scared off MG.Trust with just a Rocket Flare.
Oh, you definitely don't want CML hooking in and just stealing everything away. That's always going to be a threat from CML unless he is dead, and it looks like Fearless is going to have a bit of a look around the dire jungle, see if he can spot out the clock. Yeah, he will not. Force out the top wave while the rest of Adroit are starting to slowly move their way into position, but Q just going to get started with an avalanche toss. It's not going to be enough, but CML still rooted up, still Boomy, and now the Gobbler play. MCY onto Boombell. They do kill off the Oracle. Fearless just trying to get everyone out. They've almost got that TB, and they do get him down. MCY, he thought they were getting out of there, but they just stopped the taxi. They parked the car, and they just want to take the fight onto Mac, who's trying to TP out. Can they cancel the TP? No, they cannot. So Mac will at least leave. But MG.Trust, they still get a 4-for-2 trade, and it's back into the Roshan pit for them.
I don't know if you caught that, Mike, but there was a Centaur creep that broke that team fight in the middle and just caused havoc for both sides. It worked out in the favor of MG.Trust, but if you're Adroit, you must be so pissed about having that happen. And Nico pinging out the damage that came out to their jump. He's not happy about this pick, for sure. It doesn't seem like he's too pleased, Mike.
I don't blame him, John. I mean, Terrorblade into Leshrak is pretty tough. He's working towards a BKB on that TB, but it's going to be a while. And Q, he's found Mac out. Links forward. Not quite on target, but has the 4-staff. Gets a toss back, but Mac will be able to 4-staff away. It's going to be a 6k net worth lead now for Motivate. You do still have MCY to fall back on, John. I mean, in terms of net worth, he is still at the top. Still doing a great job on this TB of farming, but he just needs at least a BKB to be able to fight.
Yeah, he's still somewhat far away from it. Now, MG.Trust did smoke up, but Jackie just immediately broke it in the wave, so not going to be a successive smoke, but that does open up. Of course,
Q.
still.
Toss back, very nice, caught out Mac, but he will force stuff and Cookie, but he's not on the high ground. His team needs to fight to try and contest this kill, but Mac is too low. He is going to die to the Pulse Nova of Masaros. And you kind of need those Mortimer's Kisses to be able to defend this tier 2 tower. You don't have them now, so it's going to be fairly free for MG.Trust to take. They'll still try to abuse the Blood Right, but it's just not going to be enough. Jackie just rages up. He has the Aegis anyway. And at the bot lane, as we just saw, it was being pushed in by the TB, but Masaros going for a cheeky Diabolic Edict onto the tier 3 tower. He's going to back off eventually on to MCY. Fortune's End is going to be there with an avalanche toss, and Jackie is all down. A nice underround MCY is just going to try and TP away, and he is going to make it out. Nice play there from our Terrorblade. MCY is going to be fine.
Yeah, bit on the edge, but does get out. He's still finding that farm. Your Nutfort as a team is starting to chug a bit, though, and this is almost the same situation we saw MG.Trust in Game 1, right? Except it's Adroit experiencing it now. I think the big difference between MG.Trust in Game 1 and Adroit here, though, is the fact that MG.Trust had that Ravage to fall back to. They had steady team fight, and in here, Adroit have to rely on CML landing the hook and getting the Kisses follow-up. That is their best initiation by a long shot. It doesn't control a big area of the map. It only controls really one hero at a time. But if you can land that in the key hero, I think you start to look at, in this game, you start to look at Masaros. You start to look at Boombell. Like, you have to take either the Oracle or the Lesh out, and then you can maybe focus on Lifestealer afterwards, but it's really tricky. They've been spacing themselves out well, and they've been buying so much time out here that the farm on Jackie just keeps piling on. He's got his MKB up, preempting the future Butterfly of MCY if it were to come out, and of course just adding on to the damage. And he's just allowed to kind of rip through.
They might jump Fearless. Burmese hanging around. He's got some friends coming in for help, but no, it looks like they think better of it. They'll leave him be, but as they were doing that, MG.Trust, they got the bottom tower for free. That's all outer towers gone now for Adroit, and the map does shrink quite a lot for them. If you're MCY now, you're kind of thinking, where the hell am I going to farm?
Yeah, there's no safe spot. He's got to risk it now. I'd say the bot jungle is the best, but his path there is kind of cut off. He's got to go the long way, and again, they still hold the Aegis for about a minute 30. Jackie's not scared. He can just chip away at these towers slowly but surely and start to make some more space on the map.
Well, you've got the BKB at least on MCY now, so he can fight. The problem is he doesn't have buyback gold. So he's got to be a little bit cautious. Jackie is going to pop the Rage a bit preemptively, but that tier 3 tower is dropping quite quick. And they aren't taking too many chances here, MG.Trust. Just a very slow siege. Not dragging in Masaros yet with a Diabolic Edict. They're just using Jackie. Still, that Aegis timer, about a minute left. Run of Atos catches out Burmy with the Pit of Malice, and now the Split Earth, but a Rupture did come out as well. Burmy has died, but the hook shot in from CML. Back onto Boombill. They want that Oracle dead. They are trying to get everyone out with the Dark Rift, and they will, but Boombill, he dies in the Oracle. But they get everyone else out of there. And on top of that, they do force a buyback from Burmy that will lead to absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's a worthwhile movement out from MG.Trust. You don't mind losing your Oracle for that kind of trade. Adroit now, they're down the Kisses for a minute 20. They're down the hookshot for a little bit less. But without the Kisses follow-up, CML's hook is really not going to do much. So you've got some dead time here for Adroit. They can use this to farm up. MCY did pop his meta. So even if you live through here, once that Metamorphosis fades out, MG.Trust is just going to go back in. They still... Ooh.
Yeah, nice toss back. That's going to be a dieback on Boomy. 70 seconds without your pause for Tusk now. And with that, and the fact that meta is down for a minute and a half, they're going high ground for sure. There's no way you back off your MG.Trust.
No, there's no way. I mean, the Aegis did expire, but you've got a ton of damage. They force out the Fortify. Kisses are about a half-minute away, though. They're going to have some way of getting some damage out here, but they can just split their focus, and MG.Trust are just keeping two waves kind of shoved in. They're cutting out the bot wave, and Masaros is just ready to spam that Diabolic Edict.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to defend this one. They don't even have the kisses up for another 15 seconds. Oh, Q, great toss back again onto Mac. He has managed to get himself up, but Jackie is diving tier 4 towers now. He might need to back off. It's a lot of damage he's taking on this life stealer, but he will get the infest off. They've almost got that melee barracks, and there it is. That'll be it. They got what they came for. They aren't going to risk anything else. MG.Trust, they are happy to back, or maybe not. CML has been caught. It's a lot of damage out from Masaros, but does he have enough? He does. The Fate's Edict as well, going to protect him from a lot of those kisses damage as Masaros still looking to go back in. Now Q with a nice avalanche toss does kill off Nico. No buyback on the Bloodseeker either. Split Earth going to be avoided by the snowball out from Boomy, but now the Fortune's End is there. They root him in place for a second. Masaros still going. God. Now Q with the toss back into the pit of Malice. MG.Trust, they get another kill, and we know that Tusk doesn't have buyback. So they get the range racks now. Back down to the bot tier 3 tower, perhaps. In fact, that's already gone. Why not just go for the racks instead?
There's just nothing that can stop him. Look at that.
Great toss back into the pit of Malice. Last game we saw Q. He was struggling a little bit early on with those arrows, John, but this game, these tiny tossbacks have been very on point from Boombell.
Yeah. Chat wheel GG. You know, it happens when you're spamming that. Still, it's tough now for Adroit, right? Like you mentioned, Q is just making so much space happen here. The kisses aren't lining up. The hook shots aren't. Your Terrorblade, he's not even up there anymore. MCY is just trying to farm.
Again. He's got Mac. He forced off right into the pit of Malice. It's just perfect play. They rupture up Jackie. Boomy's going to go in with the shards, but there's the infest onto Masaros, and now they'll just turn back around. Boomy's trying to run, but the Pulse Nova damage is just so darn high. Into Nico, Gobble Up is there. Mac, Avalanche toss out from Q, and Mac's going to die in the Snapfire. Now onto MCY. They force out the BKB charge. He can't even fight back. He has no damage, John. Jackie is taking no damage from him. Boomy's gone. Hookshot is there, but the false promise is now out on Masaros. Q looking for a toss back, does get the avalanche and the toss back onto MCY into the pit of Malice. He's trying to sunder, he gets it off. Jackie could not give a crap though. He just keeps fighting, and they've called the GG. MG.Trust, a 2-0 victory over Adroit. And for any Adroit fans out there, they are not out of this tournament at all yet, but they will be knocked down to the lower bracket.
Yeah, it was always going to be a harder fight here for Adroit. MG.Trust did get to kind of pick their opponent for this bracket. They chose Adroit, and you can see why. They were confident going in. Adroit in the second draft, really just such a strange draft. Picking that Terrorblade up here. We saw a lot of plays come out from MG.Trust, but you've got an opportunity to vote for who you think is MVP. Go to bts.gg/monstermvp. That's bts.gg/monstermvp. Vote for your choice and, kind of show us who you think played well. But that was spectacular from MG.Trust and Adroit. Well, they're going to have another chance, but it gets riskier in that lower bracket.
And with that, of course, John, that is it for this series. We are going to move on to the next series between TNC and Among Us, which I believe we can consider a rambulan, as I like to say, Jonathan. I've been working on my Filipino. Thank you for the compliments, by the way. Of course, we are going to head off to a short break, and after that break, we'll be back with the panel to discuss what happened in this game number 2.